Notre Dame is coming off of a big recruiting weekend when Navy was in town, and we're going to talk about it with Kyle Kelly in this video. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here at Blue and Gold for more content. Of course, blueandgold.com is your home for all things Notre Dame football. So if you like what we're talking about in this video, you can find so much more content on Finding Irish Recruiting over on our website. This is really just snippets of what our subscribers get. So Kyle, 3 new predictions to come out of the weekend on the national side of things. Xavier Hassan, a top 100 overall cornerback. All 3 of these guys are about to talk about in the 2027 class. Xavier Hassan, the number 4 corner in the country, according to Rivals, being predicted to Notre Dame by Steve Wiltfong. Of course, I predicted him to the Irish about a month ago. And Khalil Terry, a 4-star safety prospect out in California, predicted to the Irish coming off of his visit weekend by new Rivals hire. Really excited about Greg Biggins. Does a tremendous job out on the West Coast. And Wilt Fong predicted him as well. And then Kyle, a really interesting prediction. Garyon Hobbs listed as a 3-star safety, 5'11 and a half, 200-pounder from Louisville, Kentucky. Notre Dame recruiting him more as a linebacker at this point. So we haven't done any new predictions, in the past, couple weeks or so. But these are the new ones coming out from Rivals national side. So, I mean, I love the Hassan pick. I love the Terry pick. The Hobbs one, I think he's leaning toward the Irish as well. What are your reaction to these 3 predictions?
I think guys just want to play for Marcus Freeman in Notre Dame. How many of these picks have either you, I, or any of our Rivals national recruiting analysts made this season? I mean, we're probably upward to 12, 15
Yeah,
different
half the
players.
class at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee that Notre Dame has the most recruits projected to it out of any other program. That's a testament to the culture that Notre Dame has built, the success of the program, especially last season. Everyone was wondering back in February where Notre Dame's recruiting momentum was after making it to the national championship game. Well, obviously they found some in the summer in the 26 class, and now that's carried over in 2027. It almost feels like Notre Dame might have to turn some guys away because they're not necessarily filling up so fast, but it's like there's so many guys that want to play for Marcus Freeman. So, another 3 guys coming out of the Navy weekend. This has just been a storyline every time Notre Dame has a recruiting weekend, as there's multiple predictions in favor of the Irish. The other thing that stood out to me about the 3 predictions that were made coming out of this one, 2 of those guys were return visitors with Hassan and Hobbs. Both those guys made it back to campus earlier this season. I've said on these platforms multiple times before, we always look for those key markers with those Notre Dame recruitments. The more they return, the better chance Notre Dame has at getting them. And I think we're seeing it in the Hassan and Hobbs recruitment specifically.
Yeah, I talked to Hassan on Sunday or Monday night, and I asked him, why visit Notre Dame? You checked that box. Why come back? And he was like, I had an open weekend and I just really wanted to go back. Like, that's a good sign. You follow the visits. Actions speak louder than words, right? That's a lesson to live by in life, but really in recruiting as well. Like, where you go is usually where you're leaning. It's not foolproof, but I think with Hassan and Hobbs, I think the Irish are looking really good based on that. And then Terry visited for the Blue Gold game. Was a Michigan State commit at the time, I believe. Yeah, he's opened up his recruitment. And the thing with Notre Dame is if a kid visits, that's really like you just need to get him there. And then Notre Dame can recruit for itself. Some kids just get there and it clicks and the kid wants to go there. Like we've seen so many recruitments over the years that seem unlikely for Notre Dame, and then the kid visits and it just kind of the recruitment gets flipped on its head. Speaking of visits, of course, let's continue on. Matt Sieg, 4-star Penn State safety commit. He's in the 2026 class. So we haven't really talked about any other late additions by name in the 26 cycle other than Sieg since Elijah Golden committed back in early August. So what can you tell us about this 4-star prospect, Kyle, and how his visit went?
Yeah, really hard recruitment to read. Talking to, SIG and, multiple programs involved in this battle to flip the 4-star safety from the Nittany Lions. And I think part of that is because I don't really know if Sig knows exactly what he wants to do. He's visited Indiana, Pittsburgh, and Notre Dame now after reopening his recruitment following the firing of James Franklin. And it's tough to say, like I said, because it's a hard recruitment to read, but I don't know if there's one team that's necessarily pulled above the rest just yet. Um, Kind of what supports that, my opinion there is that he's going to go back to Pittsburgh possibly on Saturday to get a second look at the Panthers. He still has yet to visit West Virginia, which is going to come at the end of the month in November. A Notre Dame return visit is being talked about. And, he's still committed to Penn State through all of this. So I think a lot of what's kind of making this recruitment murky is the fact that Penn State doesn't have a head coach, and he wants to know who Penn State is going to have leading the program before he signs on December 3rd in the early signing period. I haven't heard this from Sick directly, but I also think there's maybe a sense that, he would possibly want to wait to see where James Franklin ends up and if he takes the Penn State safeties coach there with him to that program. Could that team emerge as a possible contender in his recruitment? So Sig's in the middle of a state championship run right now. By all accounts, his Notre Dame visit went well. I think he had a great time there. He spoke highly of it in my interview that I'll be posting on Tuesday evening at Blue and Gold. I think the Irish are in the thick of this one. But as Sig told me, Notre Dame, Indiana, Pittsburgh, and West Virginia, they're all front runners right now. And I'm not too sure that one team is pulled ahead.
Yeah, good stuff there, Kyle. Complete agreement with you on Sig. Really could see any results here, like any of the schools. I mean, it's a very fluid recruitment. I think as of today, Sick literally has no idea where he's going to end up signing it. He is an early enrollee in January, so he can't like wait until February. I mean, I guess he could and then just get to a school in the summer, but yeah, he's got to make a decision here pretty shortly. Some other visitors to discuss: Caden Henderson, the number 2 linebacker per the Rivals Industry ranking in the 27 class, first visit to South Bend. He goes to Tampa Jesuit, which is where Notre Dame general manager Mike Martin went to school. So there's a really interesting connection there. Henderson had a great time on campus. 4-star, top 100 overall player Leighton Von Brandt, a former Penn State commit. He backed off his Nittany Lions pledge the same day that James Franklin got fired. So he's someone who committed to Penn State November, almost to the day as we record this. So he committed to Penn State without really getting out to many other schools. So he wants to take his time. But I really like where Notre Dame's at with Leighton Von Brandt. I mean, I think he's going to end up at Notre Dame. Teddy Gerard, Notre Dame's quarterback commit, was on campus. He had a really good time. Spent all day on Friday with his high school team having a bye week. Titus Hawk, an elite. I mean, I think he's an elite prospect. I guess he's not ranked super high, but 6'7", 210-pound tight end Notre Dame really likes. I think the Irish lead for him. Ellis McGaskin, the 4-star linebacker, was on campus. He's committed to the Irish. Really good to have him in town. I'll have a story about him soon. And Tyler Fryman, a 4-star wide receiver, also planning to have a story on him very soon at blueandgold.com, a Louisville baseball commit who was in town. And I think that the Irish are in a really good spot for that 6'1", 180-pound 4-star prospect. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Again, so much more coverage at blueandgold.com. If you're not subscribed, you really need to go to the website. Like, if you like these videos, just go to the website, see our offers. We have a really cool deal with The Athletic. You're really going to want to check that out. So go to blueandgold.com, hit the thumbs up before you get out of here. And as always, folks, we will catch you next time.